Hello guys, welcome to this book cover design video. So if we'll just get right into it. So my name is Christian Nabugo. So welcome to this book cover design tutorial. I'm going to be taking you on everything that has to do with making a good standard book cover, right? So about me. My name is Nebugu Christian. I'm a professional graphic designer, design strategist, art evangelist, innovative thinker, and an idea catalyst. And I am based in Lagos, Nigeria. I love watching a lot of sci-fi and adventure movies. And I'm also a sucker for basketball. I'm a very big fan of LeBron James. Go Lakers! So what do I do, right? So there are a lot of brands out there, businesses and everything, and you know how they struggle with design problems, right? Trying to stand out, to really connect with their customers, their brand loyalists, and actually keeping them right to actually look good in their products and the way they present themselves and everything. So I help brands stand out by aligning the goals of your organization or brand with the needs of their customers and prospects. Using design as a communication and problem solving tool while creating an amazing brand experience. Simply put, I make you look good in the eyes of your customers, and the customers are happy, and you're happy, and everybody goes home. It's a win-win situation. So what's my dream and mission? Why I actually do this? Why I am actually teaching this for free? It's basically to help designers get better at solving design problems by removing the biggest limitations of education. Right, like right now we're in a pandemic, right? And education is something that has become quite difficult for us to really access, right? It's also become very expensive, right? So I am trying to remove the biggest limitations of education, which are basically money, accessibility, and time, right? I am also going to get top minds in the field, like in logo design, in photography, and branding, and all aspects, to really reach out and teach modern day skills, right? Because I'm actually a self-taught designer, and this is my fourth year in design, right? I'm not there yet, but I can see I've made massive improvements. So I'm going to be sharing everything that I've learned in the past 4 years, and I'm going to be taking you on my journey, right? The end result is basically a whole new generation of amazing creatives, a whole new generation of amazing thinkers, problem solvers, people who go into different industries and bring their A game, right? It doesn't matter whether you are starting off or whether you don't know anything about design. I am here for you, and I'm going to bring in others who are top creatives in the industry that you're most interested in, be it photography, logo design, cinematography, name it, right? So next slide. Now here are a few examples of my projects. I am actually more into branding and advertising, right? I help brands really represent themselves in a much more dynamic way, in a way that resonates with their field, right? With their customers, with their niche, with their specific demographic, right? So I mostly enjoy working on advertising and branding projects. Why? It allows me to express my creative skills in helping businesses grow their brand awareness, earn happier customers, and genuinely stand out as the best in their industry. So here's a peep at some of my recent projects, which you can see all around here, right? So, and if you would love to connect with me on social, if you would love to ask me questions, get to know me better, right? If you're having problems in design, or maybe you're just getting into this field and you don't know your way around, right? And you'd love someone to really help you out, you could connect with me on Instagram at cn_graphics, or you can connect with me on Facebook at cn_graphics with the S behind, And on YouTube, I make amazing videos like this. I release one every week. I try as much as possible in between my tight schedule, to like really spend some time for you guys, like really help you get to the peak of your career. Right, so guys, please follow me on CN Graphics, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so that YouTube reminds you or alerts you each time I release an amazing video like this. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me, helps YouTube to show more people who are interested in what I'm doing here, the good work that I'm doing here, the good work of the Lord. Thank you. Please help me out and give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Now, like I said, I've been in this field for like 4 years, and these amazing people you see are people who have really contributed in giving me a firm foundation. Right, I've engaged with their content. I've had design mentorship with some of them. Like, they really inspired me to like become the best that I can be in this field. So we have Chris Doe of the Future on Instagram. Chris Doe is like his work, he's a design instructor, business strategist, when it comes to creating this creative industry. His work, his tutorials, his talk, his lectures have actually helped me grow and become a better negotiator, a better at the business of design. Right, we also have Paula Scher. She's a principal partner at Pentagram. I am most blown away, most in awe of her work, of the public theater. Right, it's her work is just something that has really helped me, like really give me that curiosity, that hunger to like really learn more. The next person is Michael Beirut. He's also a principal partner at Pentagram. He's the designer for Hillary Clinton's logo for presidential a campaign logo. I think I'm correct. He's also the logo designer, the designer that is behind the logo of the MIT lab logos. Right, his work is really profound. It's like one of the top designers in the world. Like, Pentagram is like kind of like the Rolls Royce of design firms in the whole wide world, and their work is really good. You could check their work out at Pentagram Design on Instagram, and I think pentagramdesign.com. Right, yeah, that's their website. So another person who has really was really there for me at the beginning stages, at the early stages of my career as a designer, who has really stood with me, who has like really helped form a basic foundation for me, is Kachi Eze. He's an amazing designer. I think if you know him, if you're watching this and you know him, you know that he's really good, aka Dr. Poe. Right, he's the principal partner and co-founder of Poe International. You could go check them out on Instagram at Poe International. His work is like really profound. And next person is Sagi Haviv. Sagi is like a very cool, down-to-earth person. I've listened to him talk many times. Right, his work really inspires me. Sagi is a principal partner at Chemayev, Geismar, and Haviv. Right, there's a design agency in New York. They are the creative directors that are behind the NBC logo, the US Open logo, the Conservation International logo. Right, and the one person that has really helped me out in the go-tos, in the how-tos, in the troubleshoots of Photoshop and design tips and tricks is Onmesh Tindar. He's amazing, guys. You could check his channel out at Pix Imperfect here on YouTube. He's really amazing, guys. So there are a lot of people who have actually helped me out, but these 6 people are basically what I'll like to call my core foundation as a developing and as a growing designer. So thank you guys for like really helping me out. So, and if you are new to design, you don't know who to about design, you've not really done anything, or probably you're struggling, you're already a designer, but you don't know your way around, there's no need to worry. This video is completely for designers, for beginners rather, right? and design professionals looking to understand more about book cover design. It's completely hands-on, and I'll try as much as possible to break things down in a way you would understand. And also, I'd like you to get comfy, right? It's always good to find any part of your space where you can actually relax and not get distracted, right? Somewhere quiet where the babies, your brother, your sisters, your flatmates, or your housemates can like really come distract you. Get a good headset and something to like really write with, right? So another thing, if you're in a country where the internet speed is not so fast, and you or probably it's not so affordable, I'd like you to like really click the three buttons down there in your screen and try to optimize a better resolution that is most favorable to you, that you can actually listen and grab the most that you can from this video. Okay, so what is book cover design? What does it mean to actually design a book cover, right? It is the process of getting an author's manuscript into the hands of a reader by materializing and giving it a form. By Aaron Carter, right? Design Hill 2018. So when we say book cover, there are a lot of things that come to mind, right? So basically, a book cover is your face, it's your first sales slash marketing ad to potential readers, right? So someone gets to a library or a bookshop and they are looking, scanning through the shelves or the counter looking for interesting books to read, right? A book that has a good and attractive cover designed in a creative way is most likely going to get that person's attention, right? So half of the time we pick or purchase a book based on how attractive it looks, which is basically the shelf presence or how we are connected to the book. Now, have you ever heard the phrase? This one's actually funny. Have you ever heard the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover"? Yeah, have you? Well, well, literally, we find ourselves doing the opposite in this particular situation because we are attracted to a book based on the physical or the visual look that it has, right? How it speaks to us, how we connect to it, right? Just like movie posters, we tend to guess in how interesting a movie would be, right? But half of the time, right, we see the movie just because the poster looks amazing. Like maybe you've seen Avengers poster and it looks so amazing, it looks so wow, and you just want to like, oh, maybe like go buy some tickets and go see the movie or something, right? So same principles and ideology apply when it comes to a book cover, right? But now, what makes a successful book cover? Should we ask the monkey? I think he's actually thinking he's actually thinking about it. So we can say a successful book cover needs to like make the reader feel, right, rather than tell about it. It's about the feeling. It's about how you connect to it, what it tells you, right? Even without reading the title, what that book cover says before you actually pick up the book. Now, a key takeaway point whenever you are actually trying to design a book cover, right, is that it needs to provoke emotion. It needs to build empathy. It needs to build a connection between the reader and the book, right? I need to look at this book and want to read it away. I need to look at this book and get more curious and want to spend more money, right? So many book covers don't convey the right message. The cover of a book is basically a powerful marketing tool for a book. Books with creative graphics, attractive title, overall attractive covers are sold more. Now, there are three main book cover design categories. Like there are the a great book cover that has to like really get people's attention in a subtle way. It is always under these three categories. So yearly design trends change or shift in an ever scaling direction, right? Adopting different elements of the current social trends in design. Like different years, a lot of things are just pushed in, picked out from the bag. We get vintage designs, retro, all name them, right? So they adopt different elements of current social trends into design. There are a lot of design styles and categories when it comes to designing a book cover. But I personally think that they fall under these three main categories, irrespective of the current, modern, or ancient, or probably a future design, or probably future design styles. They will all mostly fall under these three categories. So let's take a look. Now, the first one is basically typography based design, right? They make mostly use of bold type. And the second one is what I like to call hand drawn or illustration based designs, right? The designers who made the book cover get right into it. They use their hands and they draw, whether digitally or traditionally, right? And the third category is basically in photography and composition based designs, right? They make use of photography, graphic elements, and things just to put up something that looks amazing. Now, guys, as some sort of disclaimer, right? These books they weren't designed by me. They were just basically used for examples, right? I take no credit for designing any of these books, right? And please, if you're just joining us in this video, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so that whenever I release an amazing video like this, YouTube will notify you and you get to see it, or you get to be among the first people that see it on YouTube. And if you love this video already, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Now let's dive right in. Right, we have typography based designs, right? Usually these book covers comprise of bold and or loud attention grabbing typography, right? They have like, it just speaks to you. Like when you see it, the type, it just the fonts used are basically the main center of attraction, the main focal point that you get to see whenever you look at it, and it always adopts a creative layout or arrangement. The way it's arranged, the way it's structured, just attracts you to it, right? So now there are this category is not always specific to any kind of book genre. Most times it is used based on preference or how appropriate it feels in relation to the story or the theme of the book. So in most cases, the direction that you might eventually go, or you to design the book, is just based on one, right, the central story or general feeling that the book evokes, right? You're talking about romance, right? You know, probably, okay, if you want to go for a typography based design, you have to like use fonts that maybe illustrate romance, right? And the second one would be the genre of the book, right? A very good example are architecture books. They have a lot of books that are illustrated with typography, right? Or graphic design books, or literature books, or history books, okay, and etc. So there are a lot of them, right? So a third option might be just based on request, based on your client's request, based on the author's request. So we go to the next one. Hand-drawn illustration based designs, right? They are bold, they are loud, they are hand-drawn or digitally, or whether digitally or traditionally, right? You find people or graphic designers who make use of what we call digital tablets. You have your Wacoms, your crayons, and the rest of them, the Techions, and the rest of them, to like really help you to like draw digitally and like bring your drawings to life digitally on your laptop, on your tabs, anywhere you could actually draw these days, right? And the second feature is that they also combine illustrated type, right? You could like draw type, like this font here is a good example of a hand-drawn font. Like it was made, it had this brush texture around it that really illustrates that this was made digitally, right? It also has a creative layout, a creative arrangement, creative structure that makes it look cool and amazing, that immediately draws your attention to it. Right now, the places you might most likely see this kind of style is basically when it's appropriate for the central story or general feeling the book evokes, like we said in typography. Right, so there are books that just require that you go deep in and try to make them. Now, for example, are children or infant books. Right, you have literature books, autobiographies, fantasies, thrillers, and the rest of them. Okay, and the next one is, sorry, composition slash photography based designs. Right, so this in this category here, we see a higher level of design skill slash thinking, where the designer combines photography and graphic elements and typography in a skillful or creative way to illustrate a picture that gives a sharp insight to what the book is about. Right, they dive in, like this particular category like really depends on your skill, how your understanding of your design software, and how you can actually put different elements, pictures, graphic elements together to like really come up with a final result. Now, this design style is mostly used, or like I said, it's almost all of them when appropriate for the general feeling the book evokes. Right, so it is mostly, you can see them in literature books, thriller books, romance novels, academic books. Right, you can see them in professional books, biographies, magazines, journals, etc. Okay. Now we get into the anatomy of a book cover. Right, so we have the title. Right, we have the front cover and the back cover. Now this is the title. I'll start from here. The title contains the title designed by a creative or by the designer, but in a clear way that communicates what the book is about to the reader. Right, we have subtitles, but in this case there are no subtitles there, but there are subtitles. Right, that contains a clarifying phrase about the title, usually designed with a clear sans font or shorter font size. Right, then we now have our illustration photo or anything that like this main composition here. Right, so this is where the creativity comes in, like to create an image or composition or an illustration that is specifically tailored at the target audience and captures their attention. Right, so this is also the subtitle tagline, right? That's supposed to be here or here, but I think this is what the designer that made this went for. Right, and then we now have the spine on both edges. It is also here. We have the spine. That this shows the main title, author and publisher's logo and company name right by the side. Like before, maybe you go to a library or a bookshop and you're trying to pick out a book. Right, the spine gives you the immediate information that you can get about the book. It's part of the first thing that actually draws your attention. If the scenario or the case where you are trying to pick a book from is requires you to pull it from a shelf. Right, now we now have the book summary, right, where the summary about the book or what it contains is written, and endorsements by prolific writers or people of high status in the society to endorse the book and tell you what you might get from the book. And this is the barcode and the price that contains the information, the selling price, the type, the ISO numbers, the registered lines of the book. Okay, and the author's name. Yes, the author's name is always written somewhere above or below, depending on the design style or skill of the, or that is where you just have to use your creativity, but it must be clearly distinguished, right, whenever you're trying to like design a book cover. So whenever you decide to maybe design a book, right, there are quite a lot of things that we consider, because you don't just like jump into designing a book. So there's always a research process. Right, if you want to make a design a book cover, it's always important to note that that different genres of books require or are particular about a specific style when it comes to book covers, right? This helps to properly attract the target audience for the book, right? So you don't want to design a book that is abstract from what the author is actually talking about, right? So this is where your research process comes in, and we'll be diving right into it. But then, like we said earlier, a book cover is the first sales ad to potential readers by Anne Carton, design here, right? It's basically you advertising, so wow, this book is cool, this book is crazy, this you would love this book. It's just something that grabs a potential reader's attention, right? To like really get curious and try to like, okay, maybe reach out and try to like read the book and like, buy it or something, right? So what do we search for, right, when we were for when designing a book cover, right? How do we know what to search for? So like there are quite a couple of steps, but the first step is to find out what genre the book or manuscript your book is centered on, right? You don't want to go and maybe design something abstract for a different category or for a different genre of book, maybe for romance, and you decide to design something for action thriller but it doesn't match romance, right? So the second one is to find inspiration. Search for similar books that have been designed in the past, right? And gather references. References are basically examples of different book covers that have been designed in the past that are specific to the genre or the type of book or the topic of the book that you're trying to design, right? So a good place to like really gather or find inspiration is Pinterest. Pinterest has been my go-to website, where Pinterest is basically where they share a lot of their ideas based on any creative industry, right? You find references, you find things that have already been done, flyers, posters, logo design, name it, music. I don't know about music, but videos, a couple of things. It helps you to like really research there a ton of book cover ideas on Pinterest, right? That's a good place. Pinterest is a good inspiration website that helps you see similar things related to the creative project you're actually trying to work on. And a second example, a second place you can actually find ideas are on movie posters, right? Most literature books go on to be adopted into some of the amazing movies we see today. Some search for movie posters on the internet and TV shows related to your book. So just search for TV and movie posters that are related to your book, to the book you're trying to design, right? Probably like you said, the Avengers poster, right? Most people get their creative ideas from there, and they try to find a word translate, not copying it exactly, but translating the feel, the colors, the elements, the typography, the photography into something that really matches with your book. But it is also important, right, to understand the central plot or theme that your book is trying to pass across. Always understand what the book is about, right? Every book has a central idea or message it tries to pass across. For example, now books with a dark theme or horror stories are usually depicted with dark covers, right? Flipped dark wood, like they flip the photograph that has that maybe that depicts a dark, flip it, edit it, right? That's an example, like to show that this is a horror book. Or probably you see a bloody knife to like really illustrate murder, right? So now we dive into the process of actually making a book cover. So whenever you decide to design a book cover, it is important to keep four major things in mind, right? These things are just things that you just have to know at the back of your mind, because if you don't, you end up like having a messed up workflow, right? Designing something that is very abstract from what the book is talking about, you eventually not get anybody's attention. Okay, so one of those things is basically to have a clear focal point, right? When someone looks at your book, they see the main thing you're trying to illustrate there, right? The main idea you're trying to pass across. And the second thing is to have a strong and clear composition, right? Everything that is made up in your design, from the typography to the pictures to the illustration to the arrangement, everything should be clear and strong, right? It should like really like drive the message message home. It should also, number three, to be bold. So it should also have a bold, clear title and subtitle. Sorry for the typo error there. So like to like really illustrate the theme of the book. Like sometimes when you have a font that really looks cool, right? If you, some designers like try to manipulate it, probably like to like give it like make the font a bit coily and everything, just to reflect the mood of the book or what the book is talking about. And number four is appropriate colors. I can't overemphasize this, right? If you are designing a book and the colors are off, it's like designing a book, motivational book, right? And you're using maybe not black, sorry, using red, right? Most motivational books are like quite picky with colors and everything. Or let's just say modern, and you're designing motivational books with or designing modern books with blue, right? It's really off. Red is like a more appropriate color. Black is more of an appropriate color, right? So it's always good to understand your color, right? So probably I'll try to like keep try to place some links in the description below where videos that can actually help you understand color, right? So the next thing is color, right? Color plays a big role in creating the look and overall feel of any book cover design. Stacy Vander Poy, right? This is important to know that a good color scheme is almost 46% of your book cover, right? It's most likely the first thing that would like really catch the eye of a potential reader, right? During your research process, selecting a good color scheme that reflects the central theme of the book is actually very necessary and important, right? If the colors are off and are abstract, just like we said before, like using the wrong color for the wrong book genre or theme, right, could like really send the wrong message, right? For example, now here are a few color scheme ideas for books that we could talk about, like red reflects energy, enthusiasm, emotion, power, right? Passion, right? So a good example of using red in design is basically used in romance novels. You could see them in superhero or fiction novels, that's thriller novels, and etc. A lot of them, right? Another one could be blue. Blue, it reflects dependability, trust, thoughtfulness, and calm. You see them in business books, autobiographies, fantasy, etc., right? Another place you could find them is you could see is basically black represents authority, power, control, mystery, suspense, etc. So color selection for your book cover should begin with the mood you want to create, right? It should begin with what you are trying to design, the central message that the book is trying to pass across, right? So we try to like really highlight them. Okay, next one is typography. Like now, just like color, the typography of font used in a book cover design goes a long way in setting the mood, right, and passing on the central theme of the book to a reader, right? The way the font is arranged, the kind of font that is used, right, it could reflect a modern feel, an ancient feel, depending on the genre of the book you're trying to design. So let's take for instance Sherlock Holmes. I don't know many of us have read the book, right? It makes use of a more vintage 19th century typography fonts, right? I think it's 221, or I can't remember, Baker Street. The font of the on the door number looks absolutely amazing. So take for instance now a book that is about graves or horror, right, carries a type that reflects roots, right, stone rubble, maggots, or bloody edges, like makes you just say even without like reading the book exactly, you could like really feel what the book is trying to say, right? So selecting a good type is largely dependent on the genre and the quality of references that you gathered, right? You can't like really tell what you should use appropriately, right, if you've not researched properly, if you've not researched in a more in-depth way. Simply put, take a look at what has already been done. Now there are three main types of fonts that are available, right? We have the serifs, right? Which has a shooted a curved or shooted or shoot out edges, right, around here. And we have the sans serif fonts, right, which are more modern and have a more structured or architectural edges or structure. And we also have the slab serif fonts, um, which have a more solid base, solid or horizontal base that like really drive things home. So it's important to know when and how to use these kinds of fonts. So for example, when designing a book that has a theme centered on luxury, modern sans font is with a specific font or weight is actually required. Okay, are we following? If you're following, please say hi in the comment section below. Now we move on to the next thing, right, which are basically images and elements, right? Some books make use of photography to like illustrate the theme of the book, right? Now even in this current trending style, it is important to know when and how to use them, whether to retouch or change their current state. We will probably change the color, the way it's arranged, or cut the fonts in a way that really reflects the mood or the genre of the book. It's totally at your discretion based on the design brief. Okay, just make sure the message is clear. All right, so we would like really take a short break, right, from this slide. I'd like to like really give you a quick run through of what it means to like really design a book cover. So if you should get into my Photoshop, right. So guys, I had to like cook this up during the week. Let's name of title of the book is Brown: The Journey and Funk of James Brown. How many of you know James Brown? James Brown is a famous musician. His genre in music is jazz. I love his music a lot, like a lot, right? So I had to like okay try to get something that really honors him. I don't know, disclaimer again, I'm not sure if there's a book that is similar to this, but this is all for examples, right? I don't own any rights to this book or the title or anything. So if there is anything like that, it's purely a coincidence, right? So now, and this book is basically a biography, right? A biography of James Brown, right? Like to like explain his journey, take us through his journey, where he started from, how he made his first or made his big break in the music, sorry, in the music industry, to like really stand out, to like really become the music or the jazz icon that is known for today. So you now see we use black, right? Black reflects that in a way, combined with the ash or gray color on the trombone, reflects in a way that it's in the past, right? It's something we are not talking about somewhere that has passed on in his memory, right? We have tried to honor him by using a gold color for his name, right? So black is golden. I don't know if you had that before. Okay, so I will take you through. I'm just gonna turn off my slides, turn off the layers so that you could see, so I could explain how I got to this point, right? So if you would follow me. So if I decide to like really start afresh and start making this, it would really take a long while, but I'm going to explain it as much as possible in a way that you can get a similar example, right? All you have to do is, if you have Photoshop, you CorelDRAW, Illustrator, or you have a design app on your phone, it would most likely get a similar result, but not exactly, but then you would be able to get the kind of results that is required to actually make a book cover. So the central idea is just to like give you a brief rundown, right? So the size of this book cover, as you can see, I've divided and arranged it. So this is the spine is 0.75 inches. So the size of the actual file document size combined is basically 26.423 wide and 18.38 inches high, right? If you're designing in pixels, right, it is 7,927 pixels wide, or if the height is 5,516 pixels tall, right? Centimeters is basically 67.12 centimeters wide and 46.7 centimeters tall. Okay, so the first thing you do in this particular situation is to get a black background. Set a black background on your design software, right? Lay it out properly like this, right? So you draw a square that basically is 0.75 inches wide, right, by the height that we just showed you for this document, right? And the next thing is to bring in this image. This image is basically, I'll put a link in the description of this video where you can actually download them, right? So I retouched it up a bit to like really bring out the feel of the trombone, to like really give it that luxury feel, but then still reflect in the vibe, the marks and everything that is on it, without losing any details, right? So the next thing I moved on with is his the title of the book, right? So I use a sans one because it's most appropriate. Like, this is in the now, right? We're talking about somebody that has passed on in the present, right? So we look for something that is quite modern, that feels and fits to the name of the book or the title of the book. So here's a subtitle that tells you this is what you're reading about, right? You're reading about the funk, the journey and funk of James Brown, right? So now followed by the name of the author at the bottom of the book, right? Clearly displayed. And then we now have the body, right? We have the endorsements, right? Like as we mentioned in the anatomy, it's basically in a bold way, but aligned to the center of the back cover, right? And we move on to turn on the remaining. Yes, now this is basically the summary of the book, right? What the book is about. You get a more in-depth knowledge of what the book is about. So you use a light typeface. So the size for this is basically 16 points, but in medium font or in a bold font weight, and the size for this is 16.2, like is 16 points, right? And in a light weight of the font. So the font I'm using is Helvetica Nude, but I think a good sans font that is close to this Helvetica could actually, I'm using Helvetica throughout here, right? So now for the spine, right, the next thing I moved and I tried to do was place the same thing in the middle, right? It's the first thing that you pull out or you get to see, or that attracts your eyes, or attracts your attention when you're trying to pull it off a bookshelf. It's the first place you get to like get information if you're pulling it from a bookshelf. So also add the description of what this book is about by the side, and also the name of the author, right? So the process is just straightforward, but based on your research, every other thing should like really be clear for you, right? So when we look at this, it's also the same process, right? So these are quite complex, but I use this because I feel it's more simpler. This is also the same principles as this one for this Newick, right? So Newick first, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Yes, New week, first week after delivery, all you need to know, right? So when we say new week, I don't get. You now have something that explains first week after delivery, all you need to know. For new delivery mothers, mothers that have actually given birth in their first week, all they need to know. So purple is a color that is like really tied to is a light purple. Is really tied to um pregnancy, babies, infancy, and a couple of other things. So we have this light deep cyan green, right? We also have yellow, but this is abstract from this is a bestseller sticker to like really illustrate. So the layout is consistently same, but it's always changed depending. It's always at your discretion. Now we talked about using specific colors that match the genre that you're trying to teach, right? So in this category we will now see this is a book about murder. It's obviously it has this sinister look, this sinister vibe to it that illustrates, oh wow, this is what these guys are talking about. Wow, like somebody's about to die, or somebody's about to get murdered, or oh wow, somebody died and this is someone that's saw, but we don't know who it is, right? There is a mystery to the whole book. Now in this kind of book you will see that this is the name of the author. It is highlighted. It's like it's quite big and placed more in a way that you see it first before you see the name of the book, and I'll tell you why. Now books like this are basically book covers that I design like this are basically books that have a prolific author, all right, or someone that has been known in the industry, someone who like you expect his books, you know him, someone like Bishop T.D. Jakes, right? You've known him, so once you see a book like that, you want to like his name is just the main thing that they want to like get you to like really read the book. So once you see T.D. Jakes, wow, T.D. Jakes, what's the title of the book? It comes down here. So in this particular case, it's Homer Bagwell. So disclaimer again, I don't think there's a Homer Bagwell, but it's just a name I made up just to like really give you guys a visual explanation of what we're talking about, right? So they now try to tell you he's the Amazon best-selling author of Sunrise in New Delhi. This is a past book that he has written, a book that is popular, famous, right? So if you want to read a book that was made, another book that was written by this guy is Homer Bagwell, right? So and now you now have another endorsement or recommendation quote under the title, which is basically where they said, let me zoom in a little bit. This is quite extraordinary. You can't tell what will happen next. I miss what will happen, but by Matt Newman. There's no Matt Newman anyway. So, but Matt Newman now says, wow, Matt Newman is also going to be like maybe a higher or more respected, or maybe saying a respected author in the industry that recommends this book and tells you that wow, this book is crazy, this book is dope, you got to read it, right? So we'll come to the spine. His name is highlighted, right? Trying to create some sort of contrast. Homer Bagwell, right? Immediately you see his name and then you see, oh wow, Homer Bagwell, which book? One Witness, right? And the back you get the same thing in the title of the book, the summary, and then the endorsements and the barcode that reflects the prices of the book, right? So I'll try as much as possible to link put links to these images in the description below so you can download and practice with them. So now guys, the assignment for this class is, or for this video, is basically for you to like pick a book, right, or pick a story that you love so much, right, and try to design a book cover for it, right? It mustn't be all creative, it mustn't like have the most advanced skill in it. Just make it as simple but still obeying these rules, these same things that I've said, right? So I also leave a link to a private group chat where I help designers, where I guide them when you have problems with your design, you have a problem that you'd like to solve or you don't know about, or you'd like to know more about. You could like join us in the group. I help you to like, I guide you, I share critiques, you share your work and we critique it and we try to like, you know, help you get better, right? So design a book, pick a book or a story that you love and design a book cover for it. Choose a good font and everything and try to make it look amazing, right? Now use the same paper size that we used, right? so which is basically 26.423 inches or 18.387 inches tall, right? So you use it, right? So you create that same book size and you design something on it. So once you're done, we're going to be submitting it a week from today, which is basically, or as soon as you're done anyway. But when we're going to be criticizing them would be on Friday, a week from today, as at the moment of this video. And if you're joining maybe at a later time of this video, you could like hit me up, right? So let's go back to the slide. So I'm gonna try to like skip to the part where we were. So guys, please, if you're just joining, please and this is your first time of coming to my channel, seeing my channel, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button, go hawk smash on it, and if turn on the notification icon, the bell icon that you see there on your screen. Helps YouTube to like tell you when I release an awesome video like this, right? So please guys, subscribe, and if you love this video, if you appreciate the work, right, please hit the like button. It helps YouTube to show this video to people who need it, right? It helps YouTube to also let you all understand the kind of videos that you like and you would like to see more, right? So now guys, we're back here, right? Now this is the final result of the book cover that you just saw, Brown, The Journey and Funk of James Brown. So as you can see, it looks amazing. It has that aha moment, right? It's simple. It has a clear focal point. You could just see everything about the book from a glance, right? It tells you that, oh wow, Brown is a black man, and we're not in any way trying to like instigate or insinuate racism, right? I'm also a black person, proudly black person, love to be black person any day. So this is just something that reflects the luxury, the heritage, right, that, or the legacy that James Brown has passed across, right? It's just something that you like to pull across or pull up from a bookshelf any day. You could see the spine, right? It looks amazing. It's just they have that like on an aesthetic black background, right? And you could see everything. Now we have the second one. Wow, are you shouting yet? Are you shouting? Are you shouting yet? So you see Homer Bagwell. It's just there, right? It's simple, right? It can be simple if you have a reference that really resonates with your niche, right? So it's always good to pick a good reference. Research well, right? Your design is going to always be as good as your research. Now I am not saying you should copy. Do not copy, right? Just pick maybe 3, 4, 5 preferences related to the book you're trying to design, and pick out 3 things or 4 things individually, separate from them, right, that you love about those books, and try to put it together in your own creative style. It could be the color, it could be the arrangement of the font, it could be the kind of font that they used, anything at all. Okay. And the last one is this baby, this sugar, right? You can see it's just there. Let's just take a second to like soak it in, right? Can you feel it? Yeah, I know. So if you're following, if you have a question, please drop your questions in the comments in the comment section below. I'll try as much as possible to answer them, right? So now, summary, right? Now there are 5 major things I think in everything we've shared, in everything we've talked about so far. There are 5 major things that I think you should like really take into consideration each time or anytime you're trying to design a book cover, right? Number 1 is to pick a central theme or message the book is trying to pass across. 2, research about the book. If you must, request and read. It's actually quite necessary. Request and read the summary of the book to get informed on what the book is about, right? You can't design for something that you don't understand. So I'll advise you to ask the author or your client to like really give you a broken down summary of what the book is trying to say. The third one is to find inspiration, right? Look for what has already been done, right? Gather references. The fourth one is to select a good color scheme, get a good layout. This has to do when you're researching and getting your references. Get a good typography or font style, title design. Develop your skill in this area because it will really matter. And the fifth and most important, and not the least anyway, is to make something amazing. It doesn't have to be all powerful or all blown away. It just has to pass on the message, right? So thank you guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe, tell your friends, share this on share the link to this video to your friends on WhatsApp, on Facebook, everywhere. Let's go viral, let's go worldwide, people. Okay, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified each time I release a video. If you have a question, please leave it in the comment section below and give this video a thumbs up. I try as much as possible to release amazing videos like this every week, right? But if I don't, please forgive me. I have like a very tight schedule, but I will always try to be here, right? And also, if you have questions, you're lost, you don't know your way around, you really love to like really know more about design, I have left a link to my private Telegram group chat. It's an all graphic designer, creative, anybody group chat where you can join and meet amazing creatives who will answer your questions. I will also be there to guide you if you need me, right? Please also connect and follow me on Facebook or on Instagram at CN Graphics, right down here, and also like my page on Facebook at CN_graphics, C and S at the back, right? And you want to see amazing videos like this, you find me here on YouTube. Till I see you next time, peace.